Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here in my 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix. I'm here to fix a couple issues. One of two problems I'm still having. If you haven't seen it, I'll try to link to it here. My ignition problem. That's been 100% completed. And so we had some good notes. Why it was originally hacked up may have been because they put in an auto starter, which is probably a valid point. But it also still could have failed the connections and why it wasn't running. Another reason to switch the ignition module here, or the control switch, is because my air conditioner sucks. The issue I'm having is it doesn't work. And the original being, you're gonna do that the whole time? No, okay, cool. The original issue being is that the temperature control knob stopped working. And so the car always blew hot, and the little relays, and it's got, passenger driver, and I think that's standard on all 2002 and up. The little motors weren't getting power for whatever reason. So I assumed that it might have been this unit or this unit here, the ignition key here. It was a symptom that maybe the car didn't know it was on. So I bought one of these on eBay, and let me link to another video of where I bought the wrong one. So good for me. That was 6 years ago. Back to today. So the ignition switch really didn't fix anything, but at least I had fan control. So if I turn my car on right now, it is on actually, the fan no longer works. It was only working on setting 2 and setting 4, and now it doesn't work at all. So if you have it on 4, you can hear it barely turning. If you kick it to 5, it totally turns off. So besides the temperature control not working and the fan control not working, it is time to replace this unit here, and hopefully it fixes our issue. Rear defogger button works fine, so does the AC when it's on, and the adjustment still works. So I've been driving the car with it on 4, just in hopes that it runs, and on defrost, and if you're going about 60 miles per hour, it does push enough air up to defrost the windshield, or defog it. It won't defrost it by any means, but I have an electric heater I've been running in the car when I'm not running it to keep it defrosted in the morning. So anyway, let's replace this thing. I did get one on eBay for about $100, 20 bucks shipping to where I am. And to get to it, I can't remember if you need to take off the column parts, but I'm already there. Or any bottom parts either. I think you may have to. But long story short, this just presses against it. In fact, I'll take it off right now. I'll pull the ashtray out, and this trim piece that you see, and I think it's a little broken in places just because I've taken it off so many times, is just on with snaps. And so you can actually, be careful please, and I have heated the car. It is wintertime here in Alberta. By wintertime I mean November, but it's cold, so I have heated the car. We are in plastic land, right? So you do have to undo the plug here for the hazard lights are on. You do have to undo the little factory light here for the we'll just unplug that. Bam, that was easy. Let's turn the hazards off. Okay, so we had to undo the little light here. Now you know. Otherwise it mostly comes off. Ooh, we should wash that while we're here. But you can see where the clips are, the holes for them, and then the holes themselves are actually metal, so that's okay. There's a clip right there, and it's just a friction clip. If you would focus on that, that'd be cool. Oh, some guy from the factory wrote down that, whatever that means. And they're just clips everywhere. The plastic itself is pretty okay. Let me actually grab one of my things here. So long story short, we have our vent control. So essentially the 2 vents here are for the driver, and this is a passenger vent, so that's your temperature controls here. And then all our cute skirting and another vent here. It just is super ugly now because I don't have the column stuff on. So neat. Anyway, back to where we were. We need to undo this guy, and it is in theory, if I drag my lamp over, 2 screws. Yes, it is 2 Phillips screws on either side, and we should be able to wiggle it out. I'll try to tripod the camera and we'll get to it. Well, we'll give this a spin. I wish I could take a picture of the camera setup, but it involves a bucket, the rear door open, and the back seat. Here's my new eBay unit. So we have our 2 screws obviously, and in the back here, and hopefully this is in frame, We have our vacuum unit where they've cut the lines off, so we'll need to take ours off the old one. This part works. It still directs where air should go or where the ducts should go. And then everything else is a plug. We've got a plug here, which I think is controlling the rear defogger. And then I have this unit here, which I think is actually fan control. Phillips screwdriver. This is a slot. So we'll take this one off first. I'm hoping there's enough slack in the vacuum line to allow me to pull it out. I've done this video before, but that was 5 years ago. I don't remember much, unfortunately, for that. So there's the other screw. This unit wants to just fall right out. And ta-da. Okay, so we have our two bundles of joy here. We have our fan control plug, which we can unplug, and our whatever the heck that is plug. And then we have our vacuum control, which we'll take those screws out and pull it straight out. It's just one shaft that goes right to the knob, so this is probably empty plastic. So I think at this point, since I know mine works, I'm just gonna completely take it off. But FYI to me, if I need to, let's not wreck anything. One screw there. One screw there. I guess I could have done this on the bench. 6 is not quite the right size. It's a little big. It's a 5.5 millimeter, which I have a socket for, but not a driver. It's a little driver, but I don't have the converter and I can't find an extension, so I'll just use the screwdriver and a socket. And I'll undo that one. And I should be able to pull this straight out. Maybe I have to pull the handle off first. Oh yeah, pull the handle off first. Then this comes, whoops, straight out, and springs ahoy. That's right too, there were springs. So we gotta pull it apart this way. Okay, I can do that. So this is my test unit, right? So I'm cool. Well, this is the one that's going in, but I'll take the other one apart more carefully. Let's pull this one out carefully. Okay. There are springs in here. There's nothing else but these screws holding it in. So be careful. So we release this screw. That's the little one, and that's on the bottom. Little one on the bottom, remember that. And then we'll get this other one here. I'm holding it down now. It wants to pop out. I'll take the big one out, put it towards the bottom, even though it's on top, and then carefully lift it up. There you go. So there are the three screws, the three springs. So here's my unit I'm putting in. So I'm just going to transfer them over. We're good. This is the old one that doesn't in theory work. Put this back right in its hole where it was. Actually, the square part lines up like so. Big screw in the big hole. We'll do it first since it's less of a pain. One and done. The littler one in. Need my little socket screwdriver combo. After I drop it once. So this keeps my original vacuum unit. So it's in now. It's 100% in. Minus the switch, I guess. Here's the easy part. That's tight. Flip it back over. Plug this guy in. And plug this guy in. And then plug this in. Like that. Screw these in, which I forgot what size it was. Oh, it's a Phillips. So we'll do the Phillips in the dark for the camera. Or back of my head. We'll do this side. take my knob, which is a D, so it fits like so. It's hissing, so that's good, I guess. Okay, so let's grab the camera off the mount and... Alright, so we're back to having a wiggly camera mount, aka me, holding the camera. Let's dig the keys, which I throw on the ground, and dig the Grand Prix ones out, which are this hot mess. The ones on the fob ring. Car's on. Then it stopped dinging. Oh, let's turn the lights up, see if there's any lights to it. I guess so. Some are out. Damn you, 100% correct. Okay. No fan. So that sucks butt. That's kind of why we're here. So that means we got to keep tracing why the fan isn't working. So that's less awesome. And without the fan running, I can't really test the controllers unless I hear them move. Ha-ha. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but the little zzz sound did happen. That's the driver's side. And that's the passenger side. Awesome. So that's good. The fogger works, that's good. And the AC would probably work if it were on, but it's not. And that sucks, the fan doesn't work though. So that means it's something else in the fan. Now, I mentioned I had two problems with the car. One being this guy. Second one being, I have dead mice in the AC system. So right now it's okay because it's dry, but whenever it snows or rains and then water gets in it, oh man, it smells great in here. So could have, still have that click, a relay. So we're gonna have to kick the motor over and see what's going on with that. Maybe it's got a dead spot on the fan, but I got another car to work on, so crap. Let's fix it. But at least this is how you change out the module with the correct one. It seems to be working anyway. But we just have to keep trucking at it. Of course I wouldn't leave you hanging without putting this stupid thing back in. Alright, so there is a piece of rubber that fits around the steering wheel, and that's just kind of pinned on. I think it uses the connection to keep it on, the pressure of this plate. But you got to make sure the little, it's got little black rings, little things that stick out. So there's that. Oops, and it comes off fairly easy. So there, got that back on. And then I take the whole thing, oops, careful there, and I bring it down. I swear taking the column plastic is handy, and I didn't clean the gauge cluster, but I'm not too worried. The biggest thing, I guess, is getting this top ridge down. It blinks the headlights for me for flash to pass. And then wiggling this thing. Oh, there's the hazard flasher. That's the big thing. Boom. Now we're over it. Let's turn that back off. Let's take my switch and click it back in. So now it's working again, in theory. And then we have to do some lining up. So we got to kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you can see where the clip is. That's one in. And that's two in. You can see them to guide them in. That's best way to do it. This got no, that's okay actually. It's just gotta go like so. Click. It's not quite right down there. The more you get in, the better it goes, right? That clicks like that. Oh yeah, because I had taken the ashtray out before, right? This one is not cool yet. This topper one's better though, so that's mostly in. There we go. So now we're happy again. So there, that's back on. Yeah, fan still doesn't work, so crap. And it's all put back together as far as I had it.
Thanks for watching. Leave any questions or comments down below. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for awesome updates on what I'm doing. Please check out the next video I've got lined up for you. And also check out my Patreon page if you want to support what we're doing here. And finally, check out my other less tractory page, Red Barn Homestead. You can subscribe to that too. See some awesome stuff. And we'll see you next time.